and a half. Here are some other things I told him about Millhaven. Once, on the near south side of town, a band of children killed a stranger, dismembered him, and buried the pieces of his body beneath a juniper tree. And later, the divided and buried parts of the body began to call out to each other. Once, a rich old man raped his daughter and kept her imprisoned in a room where she raved and drank without ever remembering what had happened to her. Once, the pieces of the murdered man buried beneath the juniper tree called out and caused the children to bring them together. Once, a dead man was wrongly accused of terrible crimes. And once, when the parts of the dismembered man were brought together at the foot of the tree, the whole man rose and spoke, alive again, restored. For we were writing about a mistake committed by the Millhaven police and endorsed by everyone else in town. The more I learned, the worse it got. Along with everyone else, I had assumed that William Damrosch had finally killed himself to stop himself from murdering people, or had committed suicide out of guilt and terror over the murders he had already done. Damrosch had left a note with the words Blue Rose on the desk in front of him. But this was an error of interpretation, of imagination. What most of us call intelligence is really imagination, sympathetic imagination. The Millhaven police were wrong, and I was wrong. For obvious reasons, the police wanted to put the case to rest. I wanted to put it to rest for reasons of my own. I've been living in New York for 6 years now. Every couple of months, I take the New Haven line from Grand Central, get off at the Greens Farms stop, and stay up late at night drinking and talking with Peter. He drinks 25-year-old malt whiskey because he's that kind of guy, and I drink club soda. His wife and his kids are asleep, and the house is quiet. I can see stars through his office skylight, and I'm aware of the black bowl of night over our heads, the huge darkness that covers half the planet. Now and then a car swishes down the street, going to Burying Hill Beach and Southport. Koko described certain things that happened to members of my old platoon in and after the war, and Mystery was about the long-delayed aftermath of an old murder in a Wisconsin resort. Because we liked the idea, we set the novel on a Caribbean island, but the main character, Tom Pasmore, who will turn up later in these pages, was someone I knew back in Millhaven. He was intimately connected with the Blue Rose murders blamed on William Damrosch, and a big part of Mystery is his discovery of this connection. After Mystery, I thought I was done with Damrosch, with Millhaven, and with the Blue Rose murders. Then I got a call from John Ransom, another old Millhaven acquaintance, and because much in his life had changed, my life changed too. John Ransom still lived in Millhaven. His wife had been attacked and beaten into a coma, and her attacker had scrawled the words Blue Rose on the wall above her body. 2. I never knew John Ransom very well. He lived in a big house on the east side, and he went to Brooks Lowood School. I lived in Pigtown, on the fringes of the valley, south of downtown Millhaven, and a block from the St. Alwyn Hotel, and I went to Holy Sepulchre. Yet I knew him slightly because we were both tackles, and our football teams played each other twice a year. Neither team was very good. Holy Sepulchre was not a very big school, and Brooks Lowood was tiny. We had about 100 students in each grade. Brooks Lowood had about 30. John Ransom said, "Hi," the first time we faced each other in a game. These preppies are a bunch of cupcakes, I thought. When play started, he hit me like a bulldozer and pushed me back at least a foot. The Brooks Lowood quarterback, a flashy bit of blonde arrogance named Teddy Heppenstall, danced right past me. When we lined up for the next play, I said, "Well, hi to you too," and we butted shoulders and forearms, utterly motionless, while Teddy Heppenstall romped down the other side of the field. I was sore for a whole week after the game.